is Sarah, and I am a graphic designer. Colors and creativity have always been my passion, and my work lets me turn that passion into art every day. I work at a small company in my city, where the environment feels warm and personal. People here support one another, and I feel like I belong. Last year, something extraordinary happened, or at least, it felt that way at the time. I met Alex, a man who would unknowingly teach me one of the biggest lessons of my life. Alex worked in IT and often visited our office to fix technical issues. The first time I noticed him, it wasn't because of his work. It was his presence. He had this aura about him, always smiling, always polite. People naturally liked him. He had this way of making even the most mundane day feel interesting. Whenever he was around, the air felt lighter, the atmosphere brighter. I often caught myself looking forward to seeing him, though I told myself it was just casual curiosity. One day, our office had a major technical issue, and Alex spent hours fixing it. During that time, we got to talk more. He wasn't just a problem solver. He was genuinely interested in the people around him. He asked about my work, and his enthusiasm when I described my designs made me feel seen. He had a knack for making people feel special, and I wasn't immune to his charm. His ability to connect with others seemed effortless, and it drew me in. Looking back, I realize I was already beginning to admire him without even knowing it. Alex told me he loved traveling, and he painted such vivid pictures of the places he'd been. He even showed me photos, breathtaking shots of mountains, oceans, and cityscapes. One picture that stuck with me was of a cozy cafe in a small European village. He told me about his dream to visit Paris, the city of love. "Imagine standing under the Eiffel Tower at night," he said. His voice had a spark, like he could already see himself there. Listening to Alex's stories made me feel like I was traveling with him, even though I had never left my city. His passion was contagious, and our conversations became a regular part of my day. Alex often shared funny anecdotes from his travels. He once talked about a time when he accidentally boarded the wrong train and ended up in a small village. Instead of panicking, he spent the day exploring and meeting locals. His ability to find joy in unexpected situations inspired me. I started to look at my own life differently, appreciating the little adventures in my daily routine. Our conversations weren't always about travel. We talked about our dreams, the things that scared us, and the moments that shaped who we were. With each talk, I felt a deeper connection. Alex wasn't just a coworker or a casual acquaintance anymore. He was becoming a friend, someone I looked forward to seeing. He made life feel a little more colorful, and I began to wonder if he felt the same way about me. One day, Alex surprised me with an idea for a picnic. He brought sandwiches, fruit, and a blanket. We sat under the shade of a tree in the park. It felt like a scene from a movie. As we ate, we talked about everything and nothing. I shared my childhood dream of becoming an artist, and he told me how he used to fix old computers for fun. It was easy to be myself around him, and for a moment, I thought he might be the one. But then, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and quickly silenced it. I noticed the name, Julia. "Who is Julia?" I asked. My voice was casual, but I felt a little uneasy. He smiled, brushing it off. "Just a friend," he said. I wanted to believe him. That day felt perfect, despite the little interruption. We laughed, shared stories, and even made plans for another outing. It felt like Alex was becoming an important part of my life. As I lay in bed that night, I thought about Julia. Why did her name linger in my mind? Something about Alex's reaction didn't feel right, but I told myself to trust him. Looking back, I wish I had asked more questions. Maybe then, I could have avoided the heartbreak that was coming. But in that moment, I was just happy to be with him. As time went on, Alex became distant. He started canceling plans, making excuses about work. I tried to convince myself that it wasn't a big deal, but deep down, I felt something was off. One evening, I got a message from an unknown number. The message said, "You need to know the truth about Alex." My heart sank. I stared at the screen, unsure of what to do. I replied, "Who is this?" The response came quickly. "My name is Julia. I'm Alex's girlfriend." I couldn't breathe. It felt like the ground beneath me had disappeared. I asked for proof, hoping it was a mistake. Julia sent me a picture of her and Alex. They looked happy, their smiles genuine. For days, I struggled to process what I had learned. I replayed our moments together in my head, searching for signs that I had missed. How could he do this to me? I realized that my doubts about Julia weren't just paranoia. There were little signs all along. His sudden mood changes, the way he avoided certain topics, the moments when he seemed distracted. I felt betrayed, not just by Alex, but by my own judgment. How could I have been so blind? The next day, I called Alex and told him we needed to talk. He agreed to meet me after work. My emotions were a storm: hurt, anger, confusion. When we met, I asked him directly, "Why didn't you tell me about Julia?" He looked away, guilt written all over his face. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't know how to tell you." His words felt hollow. I couldn't understand how someone who seemed so genuine could hide something so important. "You lied to me," I said, my voice trembling. Alex apologized again, but it didn't change anything. I told him, "You can't do this. You have a girlfriend. This isn't right." He nodded, admitting he made a mistake. I walked away that day, tears streaming down my face. It hurt, but I knew I deserved better. Walking away from Alex was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it was also the beginning of a new chapter. I threw myself into my work, taking on new projects that challenged me. My creativity blossomed, and I felt proud of the art I was creating. I spent more time with my family and friends. They reminded me of my worth, helping me find joy in the little things. I rediscovered hobbies I had neglected, like painting and reading. They became my sanctuary, a place where I could heal and grow. Thank you for watching and supporting this video. If this story resonated with you or taught you something valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories. And remember, honesty and self-respect always lead to the right path. See you in the next video.